The economist and author Frances Coppola has just told the assembled audience at Morningstar Investment Conference UK that the UK is risking a widespread tragedy as homeowners rely even more heavily on their housing wealth. She joins me now. Frances, could you just articulate precisely what that tragedy looks like?
Well, I think the most obvious thing is obviously that at the younger end of the age distribution, it's incredibly hard for people now to buy properties, but perhaps more importantly in terms of where we're going with interest rates, that those who have bought properties are very leveraged. They've had to buy with ridiculous income multiples, and that really has depended on interest rates remaining low and in being able to refinance with low interest rates. Now we're finding that they've got these cliff edges coming up when their fixed rate deals come to an end. They've got massive increases in the amount of money they're going to have to fork out every month for their mortgages. And many of them just weren't prepared for that. I think a lot of them are going to struggle to keep their homes. And if they do give up their homes or are forced out of them, then we will see house prices falling. They are already falling, in fact, but they will fall more. And then that brings me to the second part of this, which is the expectation of older people who have done so well out of the property boom, really since the 1980s, and the wonderful success of Right to Buy in enabling people who in the past would only ever have rented to own their own houses. They've come to rely on that property wealth to pay for their care, to pass on to their children, to help them buy houses. Some of them have taken on mortgages themselves in the form of equity release. And some of them have leveraged themselves by investing in buy-to-let with mortgages. And so all of those people potentially face falling house prices, erosion of their property wealth, and that will make them poorer in multiple dimensions that will have knock-on effects into the care system, into the lives of younger people again. It's really shaping up to be a tragedy that covers the whole of British society.
Sure. I'm not sure whether you'd call this a tragedy, but I know that you're very opinionated about cryptocurrency. I'm dying to ask you about it. Cryptocurrency was always sold to us on the basis that it was somewhat detached from the central financial system, and it, provided some anonymity for good or for ill. How intertwined is the cryptocurrency system in the broader context of the global financial system? How connected is it?
I think we have discovered that the entire crypto ecosystem rises and falls with the traditional financial system, and in particular with what central banks do. The crypto bubble of 2020 to 21 was fueled by central bank QE and by US Treasury stimmy checks in the pandemic. And so when central banks started tightening, the crypto bubble burst, and we saw collapses of crypto companies, repeated like domino-like collapses of the kind that we saw in banks in 2008, of course culminating in the implosion of FTX last November. And also, and this is where the connection to the traditional system becomes important, also feeding through into the collapses of two banks, which were Signature Bank New York and Silvergate Bank. And related to that, because the whole tech industry is also connected to central banks and the traditional finance in the same lifts the boats way. Silicon Valley Bank went down for similar reasons. So although the connections between crypto and the traditional finance have been limited and regulated, they have existed, and it has created some instability and some risk within the traditional financial system. And I think that's why regulators are now rushing to cut those ties and to prevent crypto from becoming any more entwined with the financial system than it already is. And I think also to protect retail investors, because crypto has always been primarily a retail thing. With FTX and Celsius and Voyager, those that collapsed, we saw a lot of ordinary people, retail investors, little people with not all that much money, getting very badly hurt.
Yeah, a lot of pain. Frances, thank you so much. For more on Morningstar Investment Conference UK 2023, check out our UK website at morningstar.co.uk. Until next time, I've been Ollie Smith from Morningstar.